2013. Go for it. Okay, so the last wine, well, not the last wine, sorry, the last one of this bracket, the last Shiraz that you have this evening is our 2013 Dowie Doole Reserve Shiraz. So this is the top wine that we make at Dowie Doole. We take this wine very seriously. We only make it in select vintages when ripening conditions are ideal. If we don't think the quality of fruit is there in a given year, then we don't release it. So, and it's the wine that I love to make because from a commercial point of view, there's no hold bars in terms of the money we can spend in the vineyard, making sure the fruit is grown correctly, the money I can spend at the winery, ensuring it's got the best oak barrels, and what we can do throughout the entire process. And it's the one where I really get to throw my passion into the wine. And this particular wine comes from, it's 100% from a single block on Norm Doole's California Road vineyard. And the reason that's important is that McLaren Vale, the first vines were planted in 1838, so it was one of the first regions in Australia to be planted. And the actual town of McLaren Vale was founded in 1839. So when you think about the first grapes were planted there by the Hardys family before McLaren Vale was even established, it's got a long growing history. And one of the interesting things that I love about the history of McLaren Vale is that when people first planted vines in McLaren Vale and they came to the region, they couldn't do soil testing the way that we do now. They couldn't do all the climate data, all this fancy stuff that we do to work out the best planting sites. They literally came down there and went, well, geez, this place has the biggest gum trees, so it must have the best dirt. And that's where they planted their vines. And the fascinating thing is that where this vineyard is, opposite the original Tatterschiller Chateau, there's a whole strip of premium vineyards. Dudley Brown's Inkwell Shiraz comes from there, Serafino's Terremoto, Chapel Hill the Vicar. Like, you go along that limestone ridge where this particular vineyard is in this block, and they're all A-grade fruit, like, it's all A-grade fruit coming from there. And this vineyard has a fascinating history. It used to supply Emu wines that then became Tatterschiller. They were one of the biggest producers of wine in the Southern Hemisphere, and they used to sell all their wine to the UK. We used to go on a train down from McLaren Vale to the port and export it straight overseas. And then during the 1930s, during the Depression, all the vines were ripped out and it became a market garden. And they weren't vineyards for a long, long time. And then they were replanted in the 70s. And this particular block is the first block to be replanted on our California Road vineyard in 1974. And it was one of the foundation sites for Tatterschiller wines and is now is part of our stable of vineyards. And it's just a beautiful place. And every year it goes into our reserve Shiraz, this one little block, and there's something special about it. And it's just that sense of place in glass. And I think you can see that character. And I think if anyone gave me this wine blind in a lineup, I'd pick it and go, that's from our California Road vineyard, from our old Shiraz block. There's just something about it. And this wine is done, so we sort of, it's hand-picked, it's open fermented, it's basket pressed, it's barrel fermented, it's in 50% new French oak, 50% second fill oak, but I love the fact that the oak doesn't sort of dominate the wine, it still plays a secondary character. And then it gets 6 months in bottle prior to release, so it gets all the serious stuff going on. And in terms of reviews and accolades, this has also just been ranged at Harrods as one of their premium wines in their wine store in the UK. This release just got 95 points out of 100 from James Halliday. The release before got 96, the one before that got 95, the one before that got 95. And people can talk a lot about points and you kind of live and die by the sword, and sometimes you get lucky and you get a high one and a low one. But the thing that I love about this wine is that consistently, year on year, we've appointed pretty high, and that's the thing that I'm the proudest of, is that we maintain that quality, and total production is about 400 six-packs worldwide. So you're not going to find a Dan Murphy's, you're not going to find it splashed around everywhere, and it's something we're truly passionate about, and I hope you can see it and taste it in the glass. So please enjoy.
Thank you.